Wow. I'm Simon Rennie. I'll be 80 years old in November. And I've lived in DC for about 56 years. I was born in the Caribbean. I immigrated here in 1968. I was looking for an opportunity to educate myself. So I had the option to go to Canada and London. And I chose the United States because I thought that the democracy experiment was good. I'd grown up in a colonial environment. I didn't want to repeat that in London, or a little less of it, but in Canada. So I thought this might be a different experience. Yeah.
Good change of pace. Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. How did your family react?
My mom was fully supportive of me. My older brothers didn't like that very much because my first profession was a land surveyor. My older brother taught me to do that, but I decided I wanted to go and pursue my own dreams, not try to fulfill somebody else's desires.
Was it scary?
Not really. Once I made up my mind to come, I accepted the challenge, even though I really didn't know what all the challenges were. Except I heard about the racism in this country, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you said you came here May 1968. That was the month after Martin Luther King was assassinated.
That's exactly right.
Mm.
So when I came here in Washington, the smoke was still coming up from the burning of the city. Yeah.
I imagine that was especially the case at Howard, which is where you ended up going to school.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of protests going on.
Did you participate in those?
No, at that time, no.
Mm.
I didn't know enough about the city. You know, one of the things about being a foreign guy, student in this country, is that we learn along early. It was just the first thing one of your friends will tell you. Don't get sick in this country. If you get sick, you'll probably die because you don't have any support system or any of that. So, so you try not to get involved in anything that might cause you to be in a hospital or anything like that. Yes, you avoid those type of things.
So did you have family or friends meet you after you got off the plane?
Okay, so we landed at Kennedy Airport, and my second oldest sister, Gertrude, picked me up from the airport, and I stayed a few days with them. And they wanted to take me to New York City so I could see what New York City was like. And when I saw New York City, I was like, if this is America, I'm going back home. I spent, a day, maybe two, visiting New York City and people from Grenada that we knew. Then my sister bought me a ticket on the Greyhound bus to come to Washington, D.C.
What was the biggest, or what do you remember about the culture shock you experienced in the first few years of living here?
Well, it was the racism. I came from a community where black people are in charge of just about everything.
Are there any aspects of Grenadian culture that you have tried to preserve since you've been here?
All of them. Well, I learned to cook by being in the kitchen with my mom, because when I went to live with my grandfather at 2.5, I didn't come back home until I was 9. So I had to learn this lady all over again. who is my mother? So I spent all the time I could with her. She was a housewife, so she was in the kitchen all the time. So yes, all the stuff that your parents sort of taught you, you hang on to. That's your personality.
Mhm.
You're not adapting anything different.
Yeah.
And as you have children and you grow older, you try to convey some of those values to them. And some they take, and sometimes they don't take. So that's just part of life, I guess.
Mm. How have you changed since you've come here?
I've gotten older. You know, life, no one is beyond the exposure. No one is beyond the exposure. So life changes you every day.